What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and it's the home of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that team over 2022 and 2021, reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 dads and fathers around the world. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We are watching the Morning Vibe on July 31st, the last day of the 7th month of the year. What's up, Ryan Knight?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Always good to see you. Can you hear me okay? Just want to check the mic.
I can hear you okay. There seems like a little bit of delay, but we can hear you.
Oh, okay. And for those that don't know me, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I'm also an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses, their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. So it's always a pleasure to see you, to get the vibe going right for the week. How you doing, brother?
I received that. So let's do our homework. This episode of the Morning Vibe is brought to you by the Macmillan Group. And the Macmillan Group has been providing mortgage solutions, one client at a time since 1999, buying, refinancing, or investing. Call them in Canada, 905-813-4354, US 904-586-5836. So thank you, as always, to the Macmillan Group. And I also want to make sure that we put their contact information here at the bottom, because we always do. So there's the full roll. Canada number, US number, toll-free number in North America, website address, and email, raycmcmillan@gmail.com. Actually, had a great conversation with Ray this week. So it was really good and always really informative and really educational. And we're supposed to be having a guest on. So we'll wait. We're speaking that guest is going to be okay. But what's been going on in Ryan Knight? Well, I got a few conversation topics, but I was like the Gala King start me off, you know?
Right. No galas to report on. We still haven't planned out the hot dog gala, which is going to be our massive, gigantic parody gala. But all that aside, summer, as you said, I call this the halfway point. You keep mentioning that summer's over.
Yeah, well, if you go in any retail stores,
right,
they've got back to school on. Hey, I forgot one other thing. So let's do a few. Sorry, I forgot. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, YouTube, and hit the notification button if you can, and like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I will change it before the end of this show, Instagram. And also, if you can, join the Discord group. I'm not going to stop pushing at it until we get some good energy. Well, there's good energy already, but we need more good energy. And also, too, if you're up to it, please advertise your business or service on the show. Email me at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. Okay, sorry, wanted to make sure I got all that done.
Yeah, no worries. So yes, I was saying that I feel like it's the halfway point of summer. Weather's been wonderful. It's now to see what August has for us, which will be starting tomorrow. But still, we have one last day of July. So one thing I wanted to shout out my brother, Ian. It was his birthday yesterday. So we got to see him have some lovely birthday cake. But yeah, July's July's here at the end.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things going on. And thank you, everyone who's watching live. Hey, chime in, put some comments, tell us where you're chiming in from and what's going on in your world. Okay, so let's start off with a conversation topic. And Ryan and I were chatting over the weekend. We always have very dull and boring conversations. Well, actually, yesterday our guest is here. Okay, well, we'll get him ready to log in just a, but one of the things, and I think it's a longer conversation topic, but if you're a Black business owner and Ryan's organization helps Black Canadian businesses, and I do what I can to help Black Canadian businesses, if you're a Black business owner, it's really hard. And one of the reasons why it's really hard is that you you don't, a lot of times you don't get support from melanated people, but also you don't get support from melanated people.
Yes,
And
yes.
sometimes melanated people are harder on a Black business than they are than a non-melanated business. Thoughts, Ryan? But our guests will be on in just a second. But what just initial thoughts? Because I think it's a longer conversation, but I'd love to get your input on that because you deal with a lot of Black Canadian business owners.
Yeah, and it's tough if you only market to like the Black community. That's where when you do try to expand, you do have to open up your markets. But like you said, we're very unforgiving a lot of times if we get either bad service or bad experience. So one thing that, as you mentioned, in other communities, if you go to, let's say, Oceans, the supermarket, the customer service is below par. But a lot. I remember I stood out there and just counted Black people going in because I was doing research to see what it would look like, how much consumers if we put a I keep saying restaurant, a Black supermarket or grocery store nearby where the Oceans was, and I counted about 200 Black shoppers that day. So clearly we deal with that bad customer service and can work through it. But if it's our grocery store and there's bad customer service, or if it's our restaurant and there's bad customer service, a lot of times we exit off real quick until they can get their act together. But really, if we're supporting, it should be the opposite. We need to support and say, hey, work with uh, the business owner. But one thing too, as business owners, we have to humble ourselves too. If a person is giving us feedback, we have to take that feedback and not get defensive, because there's been times when I'll mention to, and I won't say which restaurant, but if you've been listening to the show, you know which restaurant I have beef with, or which fast food restaurant, and you might make a suggestion, but you get your head bit off, and it's like, my bad. I just, thought that if you smile, I didn't say this, but I'm just saying like suggestions. But the suggestion was more around their POS system, their payment system. Yep. And I said, you could save if you use X. It's like, oh, you don't know that we did this. I was like, hey, sorry to interrupt your day, but yeah, that's what. And then you don't open your mouth anymore. You're just like, hey, either I won't shop here anymore, or you just find somewhere else.
Yeah, I definitely want, and this is something we want to do in the near future, have a round table of some business owners and bring up that subject. Yes, the money's always a challenge for many of them. Understood. But what about that challenge? There's the intent, the non-monetary challenges. Again, getting support from those who look like you, and because there's that we'll bring it up more, but I think it needs to be talked about in a really big way, and we're not talking about it a lot.
Yeah, and I think you were mentioning the stat in the U.S. It's about 86%.
86% of the Black businesses in the United States fail, and I don't think it would be much difference up here either. So
I can see it, but we definitely have to address that if the number's that high, and how to support it.
Absolutely. So we're gonna leave it be. We just, like, that was appetizer. We got a main course coming up, and it's been a long time since this astute gentleman has been on the Morning Vibe or anywhere with Doctor, because he's serving people. He helps people all over the place, especially mothers who have lost children via gun violence. I think it's also, if I'm not mistaken, the organization he's a part of, Zero Gun Violence, is celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. We won't get to that today, but there is an event called the Freedom Train Ride that's celebrating its 10th anniversary here, July 31st in Toronto. So we are blessed and highly favored to have Elder Louis Marsh back on the Morning Vibe. It's been a while, but he is back. We lost Ryan for a minute, but he is here. Elder Marsh, how are you?
Very good. Happy to be here with you. It's been some time, but the work continues. Just happy to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Before we go any farther, in the comments section, Opal Inspire says, "Good morning, everyone." And that's someone you know, Elder Marsh. You know a lady named Opal.
I do.
And also Divine Right, good morning from the DMV area. Thank you so much. Good stuff. So Elder Marsh, how has the summer been for you so far?
You know what? It's been hot.
Ah.
It's been hot, but it's a good hot. It's a good hot. We need the vitamin D, and people are up and about. I think people are fully recovered now from the COVID shutdowns, and we're now looking at renewing a lot of the activities, programming and stuff that usually was shut down because of COVID. So that's a good sign. The work with Zero Gun Violence movement continues with recent shootings that everybody's talking about. Even though overall the shootings have been down for the year compared to this time last year, we're excited because it's our 10th anniversary for Zero Gun Violence movement that started out as a 90-day summer campaign. And after 90 days, after traveling across the city, we realized that the gun violence issue was more than a 90-day solution. And 10 years later, we're still at it. We have a better understanding of what needs to be done. And we've grown very significantly because of that. But also, it's the 10th anniversary of the Freedom Train Ride.
Yes, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
And let's spend some time on the 10th anniversary, the Underground Freedom Train Ride, and how it has expanded over the last 10 years, and how it has really captivated the city of Toronto and TTC, the public, in an event that it's once a year. People are excited about participating, and it's not your normal typical transaction or activity or program. It's so unique in so many different ways. So I'm just happy for the opportunity today to talk about what's really going on, and also the true meaning of Emancipation Day and the purpose of this event. So,
well, we're happy to have you share.
Yes, and congratulations.
Yes, and on
thanks,
both.
Ryan.
And I would like, if you have time in your positive, productive schedule, to come back and talk about the 10 years of Zero Gun Violence on another conversation if you find some time.
Yeah, we have a better understanding of what's going on, and we have a better understanding of where the solutions lie, and what we need to do as community versus what the politicians or what the police need to do. So we've got some specific ideas about that.
All right, just want to shout out also another member of the family, Dr. Tachi, live from Florida. Dr. Tachi says, "Good morning, all." She hosts Mediascope, the livest online show about media, tech, and pop culture on 5 p.m. Eastern Times on Wednesday, on Instagram Live, then at 6 p.m., YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and other platforms. So, and Dr. Tachi, always I'm going to ask you right now, did you get your air conditioning fixed yet? That's all we're going to leave it there.
Right,
so,
yes.
Elder Marsh, how did the Freedom Train Ride start?
So I got a phone call from Ita Sadu. I'm going to tell you what actually happened. I got a phone call from Ita Sadu, one of the co-owners of a different Booklist. And she says, "Louis, I've got an idea. Are you sitting down?" So once she says that to me, I know that it's trouble. She said she wants to use the TTC as a landing place to celebrate Emancipation Day and relate it directly to the Underground Freedom Train Ride. She wants to get a TTC train dedicated to this. And she would organize activities, a little bit of drumming, dance, and explaining Emancipation Day, but she wanted TTC to partner with us and provide a train just for our use. And she's spoken to a couple of people and they didn't think it was possible. So what do I think? So I said, let's do it. And we don't need TTC's approval because once we have our token, our ticket, we can get on the train anyway. But we're going to do it in such a number that nobody else is going to want to be on the train with us. However, we got to talking about it, what it would look like, and also the timing, because this is not an event that starts at 10:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. This starts at 10:30, 11 p.m. at night. How could we get people out and so on and so on? So that's how it all started. We need to do more than just raise a flag on Emancipation Day and celebrate, right? So we sat down, we brought some people together, and we started talking about it, how we could do it. TTC came on board and says, yes, we will work with you. They had 10 million questions to ask, but we had answers for them all. One of their questions was, well, suppose you're on the train and it breaks down for some reason and it's blocking up other trains behind. We said we would just get off the train and push it ourselves. Because we didn't want to interfere with the regular service, right? And we had answers for everything. Aita is very well organized, very professional, and very confident in how she communicates to people, including the TTC executive. We also had somebody on the TTC board commission that was also in support, and he also provided support. So that's how it started. And we said, well, how do we make this happen? And I didn't think it was going to become like an annual event, but because of the success that first year, I think we had about 1,000 people that showed up at 11:30 p.m. We had people showing up at 11:30 a.m. by mistake.
Oh, right.
So we got phone calls from a Union Station, where's everything? And the people said they had traveled from Hamilton and they were here to participate on the Underground Freedom Train Ride. And we had to let them know that it wasn't 11:30 a.m., it was 11:30 p.m. So we sent some people down there to bring them to the store and keep them occupied until that's how it all started, right? And 10 years later, it has captivated the city of Toronto in so many different ways that we're getting calls from all over the country of interest in participating and how we can do something similar in their cities. So we're excited about what's going to be happening.
Wow, that's fantastic. Gotcha. I just want to catch up on the comments. The family has come in now large. So LinkedIn user says, good morning. Love you, Louis. Great work. See you at the Freedom Train.
Nice.
Opal Inspired says, good morning, Louis. Congrats to one of the hardest working people I know. Frequency Event Promotion says, good day, Vibe Night, and March. Sounds like a lawyer's firm. We're going to fight the power. The Macmillan Group, good morning, gentlemen. A blessed Emancipation Celebration observance to all. Let me see. Yes, Dr. Tachi says, I did get it fixed. So she did get her air conditioning fixed because she's in Florida and been hot like fire. Okay, Frequency Event Promotion says, Elder Marsh, it's always great hearing from you. LinkedIn user says, the first rendition was the early morning boat to Ward's Island. That was so cold. The train is much better, warmer, easier on the drummers and singers. So obviously you got to hear about that. We got to hear about that.
Yeah.
Tim Frey says, morning, everyone. Lorraine says, "Good morning." And then, so we're up to date. So, what is about this thing about the boat towards island? You seem to be laughing. You seem to know something that we don't know.
Well, at that first time we started the ride from Ward Island, we went over and we did because you can't talk about Emancipation Day if you don't talk about that trip from Africa, that journey from Africa. So we figured we would do something from Ward Island early in the morning when it was cold, but we took drummers and we took some
Wow.
speakers and we got off at Ward Island and we just remembered the journey of our people on those waters. It was not as hot as it is today because it was breezy, it was cold, but we did it. And it was a reconnection with what our people went through, even though it was to no degree compared to. So we started that, and then we came back to Toronto, and then now the Freedom Train ride. So it was the journey across the Atlantic, well, Toronto Harbor, sorry, and then the underground Freedom Train ride,
Yeah.
the underground Freedom Train ride. So yeah, it was quite it was very spiritual, and it was connecting us to some extent with
Yeah, because
what happened to our people.
I'm curious, what is that feeling or experience that you want people to take away after going through the Freedom Train ride?
No, there's over 1,000 people that will be in attendance tonight, and they all experience it differently. For some, it's an awareness. Sometimes it's a grief, understanding. Because we have a moment of silence on the train, and it's just dedicated to all our people who we lost in that brutal, criminal chapter in world history. The most brutal and most criminal chapter in world history. The suffering, the pain, the agony, the grief, but also the fight for freedom. And it's really a connection with that experience through awareness, but us trying to not duplicate it, but give you some sense of what it was like. And people respond differently to it. We have tears of joy, we have tears of grief. But it's also tears of understanding our journey, what we've been through, and the fact that we're still standing, we're still fighting, we're still able to do a show like this, that we're still able to work with the TTC and the City of Toronto to put on such an event. People, when the program is finished, it's difficult getting the people out of TTC. Like it's become a gathering space.
Yes.
And we have a commitment to get the people back on the last train back to Union Station and any crossing connections. So we are on the clock to get these people to go back home. They want to hang out.
Yes. And sorry, I'm not sure. Are you able to explain where the train goes and then like what the route is that it takes?
Definitely. So we start at Union Subway Station. We gather tonight at 10:30 p.m., not a.m. Okay. We have an opening program with some speakers, some drumming, some dancing, some awards, presentations, and so on. And what the event is about, because it's not your typical event in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
So people come with great expectations, but also what do they have planned this year? Because each year we have something, a different theme. So we gathered there at 10:30. By 11:30, we board a train designated the Underground Freedom Train ride with TTC. So it boards in one specific area, which is different from the regular boarding area.
Mm-hmm.
And the train goes non-stop from Union Subway Station all the way to Downsview Park Subway Station, non-stop.
Okay.
So there's a moment of silence from the time you get on the train to, I think it's St. George. And then at St. George, we start celebrating. We start talking about Emancipation Day. We have poets, we have drummers, we have singers. And by the time we get to Downsview, we unload. It's around 12:10 a.m. in the morning, which now becomes Emancipation Day, August the 1st. So when we unload from the train, we go to the street level because it's going to be at Downsview Park. So we're outside. We're going to have steel pan music. We're going to have drummers again. We're going to do some ceremonies at that particular spot. And by 1 a.m. in the morning, we're finished. So the train is non-stop. So you're not going to get on the train at St. George. You're not going to get at this train at Eglinton West. It's not going to stop. But what you're going to see if you're on the platform there, you're going to see this train that says Underground Freedom Train. You're going to see 1,000 people on it, drumming, dancing, and people are going to say, how come the train's not stopping? But this is a special train.
Yes.
Designated the Underground Freedom Train ride. And it's exciting. It's very exciting, and it's very emotional and very spiritual.
Okay. Just want to catch up with some comments. Fitness IQ Cam says, morning, everyone, touching in for a minute. And also Share Knight says, good morning, everyone. And this is good. Question here from Frequency Event Promotions. Elder Lewis, are there any ideas in amplifying the Freedom Train initiative, securing multiple trains, extending the route, and post work beyond August 1st? You know what? We're gonna take a break because that's a loaded question. So we're gonna take a quick break so Elder Lewis can ponder on that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just run something. I'm gonna start running it regularly now. A little message from a gentleman who supports him and his wife support Dr. Vibe. So we'll be back in just a moment.
You know, and that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. You know, seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, you know, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Over like the twerkers and the, you know, just people that, you know, don't always represent the best of us, you know, the diversity, you know, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people. Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
Just a shout out from Dr. Boyce Watkins, who is a supporter of the Morning Vibe and Dr. Vibe, and also Ryan Knight too. He hasn't met him yet, but it's coming. It's coming. So back to the conversation. So let's put up that question. Elder Lewis, are there any ideas in amplifying the Freedom Train initiative, i.e. securing multiple chains, extending the route, and post-work beyond August 1st? So wanted to give you some time.
Yeah, no. You know, we got to think big, but make bigger things happen. We got to think big. And this even goes back to the initial discussion about Black business. We cannot just limit ourselves to the success of one event. we've got to keep growing it.
Mm.
The same applies in business. Like you start off with a small business, you'd like to become a larger business later on. So we've got to think big and make bigger things happen. So in terms of the Freedom Train ride, we have discussed extending the route, say from Windsor
Whoa.
to Toronto to Nova
Oh.
Scotia.
Whoa.
To have it on a national level. Yeah, we've had discussions because those people have participated in the organizing and they've attended. So the next thing is, how do we get a train from Windsor to Toronto to Nova Scotia as part of the event itself? That would complete the cycle.
Yes.
But it's not only that. Is the other activities that take place around that period of time. So, for example, on Emancipation Day, August the 1st, we generally meet at a different Booklist, the store at Bathurst and Bloor, around 12 noon. And we have a march along Bloor Street to Christie Pitts. And we have dances, we have drummers, we have a displays at each intersection about a different part of our heritage, our history. So whether it's the so-called slave trade, which should be called something else, but there's dancing, there's drumming, and we go along Bloor Street and we end up at Christie Pitts. And then we have another celebration there. After that, there will be the Ontario Black History Society at 4 p.m. We'll be having an activity, an event, a program at Fort York Armory. So it's non-stop.
Yeah,
Like
it's become a 2-day event. Instead of the train ride, it's now train ride and Emancipation Day.
Not only that, and then we have a flag raising at City Hall. This year we have Marcus Garvey's son in Toronto. Another, and what I'm saying here is, this is not only from a different Booklist or Blackhurst Cultural Centre. A lot of community organizations now are working together.
Good.
To transform it from a 1-day celebration to a month.
Oh.
So, Emancipation Month. Because there's not much that you can't do justice to in one event or 2 events or 3 events.
Right.
Then you have the carnival, you have all these things. It's about Emancipation Day, but a lot of people lose that understanding of the purpose, and it becomes like a song and dance or whatever it is. We've had enough of that. This is about education and awareness. This is about experience. This is about knowledge. This is about participation beyond a one-off event. So the expansion is definitely on the table. And because of the people organizing this, I trust that it will not leave the table until it actually happens. So don't be surprised beyond 10 years, because even the theme for this year is planting seeds beyond emancipation. Planting seeds beyond emancipation. So we're not stuck on emancipation. What do we do beyond that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sustainability and growth.
Exactly.
Love it. Love it. Ryan, do you have any conversation pieces? I do, but since you're the gala king, I want to make sure that you get first dibs.
And I love that this is the opposite of a gala. People might show up and expect fanfare, but they come up and get actual education. So
thank you so much
that this exists. But no, sorry, go ahead, Dr. Van.
Yeah. Ryan Singh makes a comment, says amazing. He said he filmed the first train ride. Also, Dr. Tachi says it's always interesting to see the celebrations of melanated people in Canada. Is this something that youth groups participate in as well? Great question, because I was going to ask about the youth engagement over the years in this event. So, Elder, would you please, if you can, answer that question?
Yeah. The first year that we did this, we didn't know what to expect in terms of the turnout. Would people actually show up at 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m. in the night? And at what quantity? We had the program scripted, everything done right. But would people break out of their usual and do this? It was a tremendous success. But when we looked at the audience, the people that came out, we had grandparents, we had children and babies in strollers, we had disabled. Everybody was there. Young people were participating in terms of actual parts of the program itself. So this is not adults only. We were amazed. We had students from the African Canadian Heritage Association participate. We had the children of some of the organizers in attendance. I'm sure a lot of them were dragged kicking and screaming to the event, but once they were there, they became part of the celebration in meaningful ways. Some of the drummers are young people because their parent was a drummer or is a drummer. So the youth participation is significant for us. So we reach out to the youth organizations and said, come out and join us. And to our amazement and surprise, a lot of them did come out. But as I said, seeing a stroller with a baby in it is not a surprise to us at this event. And we're deliberate about that. We're deliberate about it because this is not a message just to adults. This is something that transforms or goes beyond what we normally hear about Emancipation Day.
Got it. Let me ask. You have been there since day one. How has this transformed in front of your eyes? Like this, it must be very special for you. For after 10 years to say, look where we started from and look where we are now. How does that feel?
Every year we have a theme, and it's about the journey along the Underground Freedom Train, Underground Railroad. At one event, we actually had a birth.
Wow.
No. Sorry, let me just rephrase that. We had a newborn baby that was brought there.
Wow.
And a welcoming. You know, in Roots, where you have the baby, it was similar to that. So we were discussing the theme of birth. And we knew some people that just had a baby. And we said, would you be willing to? And they said, yes. We had another one where we had a marriage ceremony.
Okay.
Like life did not stop because you were running for freedom. Yeah. Life continued, and we tried to insert those milestones in life into specific themes each year. And now we've transformed, we've progressed now to what's going to happen beyond emancipation. Now you've got freedom. Now that you've supposedly been freed. What are we responsible for today? And how do we continue that journey? Because the journey did not stop. The journey did not stop. And it will not stop. Because we've got to progress forward. We've got to move forward. The development, the expansion. When we talk about Windsor, Nova Scotia, we're not stuck in one spot on this. But when we talk about planting seeds, in fact, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell you this, but when you come this week, when you come today, you will get a package of seeds.
Nice.
Part of the program. And then it's up to you to plant the real seeds. Again, it goes to the theme itself. What are you doing to sustain, to plant the seeds and sustain growth? Are we waiting on others to do it for us, or are we doing it for ourselves? So for each year, you've seen that progression taking place: birth, graduation, marriage, planting seeds. It's a journey that is non-stop. So that's what I've been able to witness. We've also had the opportunity to recognize some of the people in our community that you seldom hear about, who have done tremendous work. So the Underground Railroad was led by Harriet Tubman. So we try and find somebody each year to represent Harriet Tubman. You know, we've had Gina Gustine, we've had Bev Salmon, we've had some people in our community, and we give them the honorary designation of the train conductor for this year, right? And then we try and award people that have led in our community, volunteers. This year we have Barbara Thomas, who is a member, board member of the JCA, but she's been doing volunteer community work for over 50 years. She's worked at Toronto Western Hospital as a coordinator for over 50 years.
Wow.
These people you seldom hear about, so it gives us an opportunity to recognize and celebrate them. Give them a meaningful role on the Freedom Train, right? Celebrate success on levels that we seldom see, but need to be seen. So the growth and development over the last 10 years has been significant. And there's no reason to think that it will not continue.
Okay. Some comments here. Frequency Event Promotion says, thank you. Thank you, Elder Lewis. Dr. Tachi says, that's wonderful to hear, Elder. Thank you. And she also says, I love the idea of giving seeds. Frequency Event Promotion has another question. It says, not sure if this question was asked previously. Is this initiative funded? when Elder laughs like that, get ready.
So let's talk about Marcus Garvey, who speaks about self-sufficiency, self-reliance, self-determination. Zero gun violence movement is community supported. We don't take any funding from the government. If our work is so significant, our community will support, and that's what they do. The organizations that have had significant impact in our history have seldom depended on government for funding. You can talk about the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party. Those are organizations that sustain themselves through community support. The Underground Freedom Train Ride, community supports it. TTC actually gives us a train, but they provide support staff. There's no exchange of money. They do it because it's good for the TTC, it's good for the community, and it's the right thing to do. So we're not asking them to write a check to us. Just show up and participate and bring what you are good at. So in terms of funding, is it funded? Yeah, it is funded. It is funded by community. And it's funded by hard work, the spirit of volunteerism. That's how it's funded. Not by money, but by effort. That's how it is funded.
Love that answer. And especially love the part saying it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
I love it's the right. So it's a frequency event promotion says self-reliance. I got it now. Good stuff. People keep on getting the questions because Elder probably can't say too long because he's got a train to get on later.
Right. Yes.
he's got a train to catch.
Get on board.
Yeah, get on board. Elder, let me ask, since Emancipation Day is tomorrow, what are your thoughts from your heart, or what message would you love to share with us on Emancipation Day, on the brink of Emancipation Day 2023?
You sure you want me to speak from my heart, right? I do speak from my
Absolutely.
heart normally, but it's
Absolutely.
seldom what you expect me to say, right? But
no,
that gives me the freedom to express myself.
Go for it. You're in a safe and brave space, so make it happen.
Look, I don't need anybody to emancipate me. My thirst for freedom, my thirst and my hunger for life, my thirst, my freedom for the pursuit of excellence cannot be controlled by others. We have to realize that Emancipation Day, as Bob Marley said, is about ourselves. We have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Garvey spoke about, he said, with our inferior education, we have become our worst enemy. So we limit ourselves in many ways because our education, our knowledge, our experience have been restricted by others or controlled by others. Until we can find, as Danny Stone will say, the champion within. Danny Stone is a regular viewer here on your program. The champion within. Emancipation Day is about emancipating that champion within yourself. Whenever we have dependency relationships, we're in trouble. Because for 400, 500 years, we have been depending on others to emancipate us. So personally, from my heart, we have to reconnect with that champion within. And we must not be afraid to do that, because we're going to have to deal with some stuff that we didn't want to deal with, that have been left behind. So for the 1,000 people that will show up tonight, the message is loud and clear. You're not being given seeds to throw away.
Mm-hmm.
You're given seeds to plant and cultivate. They tell us that we must learn to think outside the box. I say that's BS. Stop it. You need to blow up the box, because if you have to think outside the box, you're still in the box.
Mm-hmm.
You're still in the box. No, we need that collective response. We want out of the box. We're not going to limit ourselves anymore. So I know that's popular, think outside the box. When we're talking about emancipation, we're talking about blowing up the box.
And building your own box.
We don't need a box, to be honest. Stop boxing us in. Right? We have so much that we can do. When we put our mind to something, who can stop us? When we put our mind to realizing the diversity, look on the African continent, look on the diaspora, look at the numbers, look at the history, look at the tradition. If we use that diversity as a strength instead of a weakness, who can stop us? But it starts with that planting the seeds, nurturing, growing them, developing and expanding. So again, that expression, think outside the box, is about limiting you and how you think. No, we need to blow up the box. We need to blow it up so that we can maximize what we can accomplish. And not only idealistically thinking, looking at our history and what we accomplished. The fact that we survived 400 years the most brutal, the most criminal chapter in world history. The fact that we can sit down here and have this discussion. There's some incredible people doing incredible. The fact that we're doing this is a testament not only to our resilience, but it's a testament to our capacity, what we can do more. So, for me personally, Emancipation Day is about taking responsibility of emancipating yourself, but also not only in words but in actions. So, what you're going to see tonight and what you're going to see over the next few days is a call for action, not only in terms of emancipation, but in terms of business, in terms of family, in terms of community, in terms of education. That's the challenge. Are we going to sit down on the sidelines and celebrate the word emancipation, or are we going to get active in making it happen? And that's what the heart is saying right now to you, that any dependency we have on others is about self-destruction. Any dependency relationship on others is about self-destruction, because you underestimate the power that you have. You underestimate yourself, you underestimate your purpose, and that limits your determination. I know it's a roundabout way of answering the question, but I'm hoping
No,
that
it's good.
Yeah, appreciate that. And I'm curious as we're closing out, and I feel like I'm talking to myself, but who would you challenge to be there? Because I've never been, so I'm going to try and find my way down there tonight. One, do you have to pre-register, or can people just show up? And two, who do you feel hasn't been there that you would challenge to now attend and experience it for the first time?
Ryan, I'm going to answer this, and it might not be the answer that you want to hear. We have not really promoted this event as much as people would like. But people hear about it and they show up. Our biggest concern is not train one, but train two. If we promote it that big, there's no way we're going to be able to fit the people on the train.
Yes, yes.
But the word gets out. So when you look at who shows up, everybody shows up. But it's not an event to celebrate individual people. It's not a political event.
Right.
Right? It's a spiritual, emotional event about education and awareness, but it's about commitment and investment. People show up. We've had people from Montreal. We have people from Ottawa, Hamilton, that show up at this event. If we advertise it on a larger scale, it might change the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spiritual, this is from the ground, this is grassroots. And when people show up, we know that they're going to show up again. It's not a one-off event. So for those people that have not heard about the Underground Freedom Train Ride, you know, we will advertise it through your normal channels, newspapers, and radio and stuff, word of mouth. But somehow the message got out.
Yes, yes.
Somehow the message got out. And there's another thing about communication. Communication is a two-way link. Someone delivering a message and somebody receiving it.
Mm-hmm.
People inquire. People tell their friends. They tell their relatives. Right? So that two-way thing is not only controlled by us, the word gets out. So the word got out. The first year we were surprised.
Yes, yes.
We had to warn the police at Shepherd subway station that you're going to see 800, 1,000 people coming off a train at 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't think we're planning anything. negative.
Yes.
Don't feel threatened by us, because this is something that they would never have seen before. So the word has gotten out, and the fact that I'm here on this show, the Dr. Vibe show with you, Ryan, is an indication of the community response and the community interest in making it a success. So we're not worried about people not showing up. We're worrying about too many people showing up.
It's a good challenge to have. That's a good challenge to have.
Yes, yes.
Some more comments here. Frequency of event promotion says self-reliance. I've got it now. He also says out of the box, boom, boom. And also says hashtag no box. Hayden has a question that yeah, you like that. Yeah, good.
Yes, hashtag no box.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, now Hayden has it's not directly related to the conversation, but I know, Elder, you may want to have a go at this because it involves reliance and what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on how to improve community funding for other needed community programs?
That one's interesting. When it comes to funding community, people will fund your program if they see it working, if they see it having an impact. A lot of the programs and activities out there that are looking for funding, sometimes they don't deliver on what they're supposed to. And a lot of people have gotten burnt supporting initiatives that didn't deliver. All right? Even government funding, like there's so many programs, who do we fund? Who's going to deliver on what the stated outcomes are supposed to be? Who's going to check to make sure? A lot of people have gotten burnt funding community initiatives from our community that they've just says, hell no. That might not be the right approach, but we have to be more mindful that when community gives you money to support your initiative, sometimes it's volunteer hours, sometimes it's financial. We've got to deliver back. And if the deliverable is not clear, you're doing a disservice to others who could use that funding. So we have to look at the funding model the way it is right now. We have something, we call it the funding Olympics. And you got to be careful because this, again, is contrary to what people want to hear. When the funders come out with funding dollars, they know who's going to get the gold, the silver, and the bronze. There are organizations that they're familiar with, that they know. And then the leftover funding, everybody has to fight for it. But in fighting for it, you have to compete against each other. You've got to work in silos. You've got to big up your program versus others. It's like an Olympics. It's a fight. It's a competition. So that funding model is inherent in failure. It's going to fail because you're not encouraging people to collaborate, work together, share information, leave the egos behind, stop telling lies about what you're doing. Pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone is a challenge for some of these organizations. Returning a phone call sometimes is a challenge. Right?
Don't get me started.
Right.
So once you go through that, people are saying, well, why am I funding you? Right? But if the community initiative is real, it's visible, it's having an impact, our community usually steps up. But our challenge is, where is it going to have the impact? Where is it going to have the deliverable, and so on and so on. So that's a topic for another show.
Yes.
Or series of shows.
Yes.
But we have to break away from the current funding model that we refer to as the funding Olympics. It's not in our best interest the way it stands right now.
Nice. Love the idea about having the train go from Windsor to the east. Actually, Ryan just had an event in Windsor and I took the train. So so I'm going, okay, yes, definitely. And Windsor's quite an important city to be included.
How long was the ride?
Well, there were a number of stops in between, but it was like 5 hours. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like it saves the driving. It was just a really I enjoyed the experience. It had been a long time since I've been on a train, but I thought it was now if it went straight, I'm sure it'd be 4 hours or less.
But imagine the train becomes a classroom.
There you go.
We have what we would call a captive audience.
Yes.
Imagine what we could
presentations and
accomplish
things on the I
on the
think
train.
Love that.
that I think that'd be spectacular.
The train becomes a classroom. It becomes an opportunity.
Elder,
And,
I have a
so when I say think big but make bigger things happen,
Yep.
this is exactly what we're talking about.
Lorraine has a comment here. 100%. We need not to be manipulated into competition. Our people thrive on and are rooted in collaboration. Thank you. Absolutely agree. Now, do you have documentation from the first train ride to today? Like that first event, do you have either pictures or video from that first one?
Yes, it's available, but I just want to go back to a question that Ryan asked previously,
Sure.
if I could.
Absolutely.
You don't need to sign up, Ryan. Just show up. You do not need to register. Just show up. The cost itself is your train ticket. You're gonna get on the train. You're gonna come to Union Station, and that's it. That's all it costs, right? Just show up. That's the investment that you have to make. Nothing else. Nothing less. Nothing more. Just show up, and there's no sign up sheet. I'm not gonna sign up 1,000 people. And check off, who showed up and right. As I said, our biggest concern is the overflow.
Yeah.
And what we would do with those people that we're not able to. So back to your question now, Dr. Vibe. What was it again?
Do you have any documentation over the years of the train ride, especially the first one?
Yes. The best way to do this is to go on YouTube and put Underground Freedom Train Ride Toronto. And there's a lot of video footage because everybody has a video these days, right?
Yep.
And you put that in, and you'll get a sense for the vibe. I'm gonna use Dr. Vibe, the name. You're gonna get the vibe of what goes on. But in terms of a written document, I haven't seen any. I do not know of any. But everybody has their own stories. But in terms of visual, put Underground Freedom Train Ride Toronto, and it will show clippings that it would just knock your socks off, right? In terms of
didn't Ryan Singh say that he filmed the first one?
Yes.
He has it somewhere.
Yes. So because I'm just putting in YouTube right now. Yeah, if you put Underground Freedom Train Ride, there's conversations that we've had on this platform, but there's also even film from last year on it. So it is there. It is there.
I see one from 2014. Would that have been the second year?
Yes, that's the first year.
First year, okay.
Right, it's just the drumming. It's the participation of the audience. It's the dancing. It's the energy.
Yeah.
It's the life. Right. There's so much pieces that come together that when you have people traveling from all over the country to come to it, there's a certain magnetism about it that attracts people.
Energy. There's a certain energy, big time energy.
And a lot of those video clips, like the birth of the child, the wedding ceremony, the actual wedding vows being on the train. It's it's incredible because the life journey of these people, it didn't stop. Life continued in certain different ways, and we try to recognize that. So it brings us to this year where we talk about planting seeds beyond emancipation. And we're not only talking about it, we're giving you seeds. And if you throw the seeds away, that's a clear indication.
Exactly.
Of where your mind is at.
Lorraine
to plant.
Lorraine has shared the YouTube link. So you can look at that, family.
Thanks,
also, Yeah, what I'm going to do also is just okay. I'm gonna do something here. Just give me a second. I'm actually gonna show a little bit of the video from last year, but it's gonna be muted. We're not gonna play any audio. So let me just give me a second. We'll get a look. We'll do a shared screen. Now, do know that when you do this stuff, the video can be lagging a bit. So that's why I don't want to show any video. I mean, play any audio, but I do want to show what it looks like. Okay, let's get this up. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna turn it on. I know it'll be a little bit of a lag, but I just want to play it without audio. I think the words, the video speaks a million words. You know, I don't think we need to have any music behind it, but I'll play a moment of two, and you can see the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh man, there's this the company that did this. They're putting their promo stuff all over the place.
I've never seen this one, but
Well, there you go. Oh, well,
Transmania. I've got to go check them out.
Yeah, but there's drumming.
Like it's always interesting as the public, the general public that is using the TTC, when they see this
I can
commotion.
imagine.
Yeah.
I would love to get video on their faces going, what's going on here?
And then you're standing up at St. George Station and you see the train coming and you're all excited at 11:30 p.m. and the train just goes by you, but all you see on the train
are melanated people.
Yes.
Like they may think this train's been hijacked.
Right. So it's nonstop, right? And that's why I'm excited about the possibilities moving forward.
I love the idea of Windsor.
Yeah, Windsor, as I said, Nova Scotia. As I said, just think big, but make even bigger things happen.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop the shared screen here. So people, you get a little bit of a sense. There's the drumming there. I'm not gonna put on for much longer, but again, this is what it looks like. This is what you're gonna get tonight.
So it's 10:30 p.m. Gathering at Union Subway Station by the ticket collector. This is
that there's Gene Augustine and Elder right there.
Is that me there? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, of course, that's you.
And it goes nonstop to Downsview. And I'm going to make a suggestion here. If you cannot make it to 10:30 at Union Station and you want to meet us at Downsview Park Subway Station, just be there for 12 midnight.
Okay.
Because some people like to park at the ending place so that they can get off the train and go home instead of coming back to Union. But the parking this time is going to be at the Downsview Flea Market because there's no TTC parking per se. But that's a 1 minute, 2 minute walk from where it is. So if you can't meet us at 10:30 at Union Subway Station or you miss the train, go directly to Downsview Park Subway Station, park at Downsview Flea Market, come to the platform there on the street, the entrance to the subway, and there's going to be a steel pan group performing. It is you won't miss us. If you miss us, well, you're at the wrong station.
Okay. Dr. Tachi says that this looks phenomenal. Charmaine, First Lady of ACBN, says, wow, very interesting video. So there you go. So Elder, I think we've taken up enough of your time because you got a long day ahead of you, brother.
It's a long week.
Yes,
it's true. It's
like
true.
It's day by day because we start today, then tomorrow, like it's nonstop. And then we have Marcus Garvey in the city, Jr. We have the flag raising ceremony.
Wow.
And there's a lot more activities taking place, but when we started this, Emancipation Day was like a novel idea, but now it's just captivated so many different organizations, so many people, and they're also now doing their own Emancipation Day activity, and it's just making uh, this whole concept of emancipation an opportunity to question and how do we move forward? How do we plant seeds beyond Emancipation Day?
I want to close with this with you, Elder, that in an environment where a lot of melanated organizations are not working together, I want to shine the light on the efforts of yourself, other people, especially Ida Sadu, to
Yeah.
give us an example of how we can work together for good.
So we have examples. We have people out there, like, look at what Ryan's doing. Like, I can't even keep track of Ryan these days, right? You just don't. I got to check his passport. Uh, but there's people that are committed, but our strength comes from collaborative efforts and not working in silos. That's where our strength comes from.
I'm going to go here with something, and because Ryan is a member of the ecosystem, all these Black organizations, whom a lot of them do not work with each other. They need to speak with people like Elder Louis Marsh, Ida Sadu, and others on getting the right model. Because look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. Look at the positive impact, what they're doing. People are coming to offer their time. Black ecosystem partners, I'm talking to you right now. What's going on with you? For a number of these partners, what is going on? What is going on with a number of us? What's going on? Like, and as the beginning, as I said, why are we harder on each other than we are a lot of times on people who don't look like us?
No. These are good questions, but it's been going on for 100 years.
Exactly. Well, but you, Ita, and others are solution based.
Well, we're sure that it can be done, but there's others out there that are doing it, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. We have to
lead by example.
Them.
We have to lead by example, but also let people realize that this is not about us today. It's about our future generations, planting the seeds of success, planting the seeds of excellence, planting the seeds of collaborative effort. We have to do that. We have to do that because we cannot afford to be just thinking outside the box. As I said, blow up the box and let's start doing what we have to do.
True.
Okay.
All right. Frequency event promotion says collaborations is key. Elder, thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will be doing. We need to have you back to talk about the 10th anniversary of Zero Gun Violence after you get some rest from this. But you don't rest. So I'll just call you up next week and say, when you're ready, because you don't rest. Because whenever I call Elder, we always have our greetings. He asks how I'm doing, and I always say, I'm blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, solution for someone's problem, and Black Alicious. And I say, how are you doing, Elder? He says, still standing, still fighting.
Exactly. You know what? But thank you very much for this opportunity.
It would not be right if I didn't do it. That would not be right on me, through me, if I didn't do this.
And the Freedom Train Ride is a success because of community collaborative efforts.
Absolutely.
And you're an integral part of it. And Ryan, I hope that you can make it tonight. But I'm not hoping. I look forward to seeing you.
Oh,
right. All right. Okay. Challenge accepted.
All right.
Hope we can move that out of our. And Opal, right. And Opal, make it out. All the people listening in today, viewing today, come on out, right? And then I might not be able to greet you personally because I'm gonna have to find you. But come up and say hello when the opportunity makes itself available.
Yes.
And keep in mind that there's always surprises and stuff along the way. Great expectations on us, and we usually deliver.
I want to do one thing. It's in my heart. Ask you for one last piece of your heart. Can you give some words to our audience, to a lady that a lot of people don't know that they need to know, Ita Sadu?
It's another icon in our community that is a trailblazer with a bookstore, different book lists, that has now transformed into the Blackhurst Cultural Centre, moving from a small location to a bigger location to a much bigger location in time to come. Uh, we're working on getting funding for the building across the street, which is I think it's going to be 3 levels, 3 floors,
Right.
but it's going to be like a cultural center that houses a lot of our cultural material and content, but it's going to be a meeting place. If you go down to a different book list right now, it gives you a small model of what it's going to look like in the future. It's a meeting place. Like, I have meeting places across the city. So if I'm meeting people in the West, I know where I'm going to go. If I'm meeting in the East, I have a place. If I'm meeting downtown, I have a place.
Please. Yep.
So the community congregates there. So it's more than a bookstore. It's more than selling books. It's a community hub. And Aita and Miguel, the co-owners, are trailblazers in their own way.
Absolutely. Elder, remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Thank you again.
And thanks for this opportunity. Look
Always.
forward to seeing you guys tonight.
Our pleasure.
Take care.
Okay, awesome.
All right, man. That was epic. Always good to have Elder on.
Absolutely. You might make the trip downtown, or you already have plans for this evening?
I will see. I will see. I will see. Comment from Charmaine says unity is strength indeed. That was a great conversation. Thank you, family, for making it all happen today. So what's going on for the rest of your time, Mr. Knight, this week?
So gonna definitely work out my evening plans and see if we can get down there. If not, for the train ride at Union, stopping at Downsview and at least getting to say hello. The rest of the week, we have been working on this Canadian Black Empowerment think tank. So initial invitations are going out. So Louis March and Aita, they'll have those land in their email box. And yeah, looking to see if we can start that conversation. So a lot of the work, but middle of the week, Ryan will disappear a little bit. I will be off until Friday. So don't expect much coming out of me. Right? And then next week, I'll be back in the full swing. But this week is a bit off.
So Friday, we won't see you.
No, Friday, I'll be back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because you know what we have on Friday?
The first financial Friday. Yes.
Yes. So he's back this Friday. Yes. Absolutely. Question. Do you want to broadcast next Monday, which is Simcoe Day?
If we get the special guest that we're thinking of, yes. If not, then yeah, we'll leave it as a holiday.
Okay, no problem. Been scrolling along the bottom. This is where you can catch replays of the morning vibe. I'll let you read. No, I'll say it. The Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube and Facebook, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight, YouTube and LinkedIn. That's where you can catch us. And a few last things. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, hit the notification button. That's really key. And please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn. And you see, I did it. It's there. Instagram. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group where we have lots of continuous conversation. Please email me at dr.vibe at the.drvibeshow.com. Same email address if you want to advertise your business or service like the Macmillan Group does every Monday. Thank you very much. And I think that's it. I think we have one more comment. But Dr. Tachi has a question. Will you be attending galas during your time off? Hashtag
my wife will buff me up if I try to fit a gala into the off time. So no. I'm still waiting for my cap and gown or cap and crown. So Dr. Tachi, I'll come pick it up. You let me know if it's ready. I'll come pick it up from you.
All right. So everyone, as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace, and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. I think we have one more comment here. Oh, Cher says Ryan is taking some vacation time. So Ryan is going to be off the grid from Wednesday to Friday. So that the boss has spoken. There you go. All right, everyone, we will see you on Friday with Wayne Harris. Follow me on the whatever platform, especially on YouTube, and I'm going to be reaching out to Wayne today to see what he wants to talk about on Friday. You know, it's always going to be fire. All right, God bless, peace, well, keep the faith, walk good, and see you Friday.